Someone very generously gave us a copy of the Douay-Rheims Bible. That's the old Bible that we had, well, some of us had growing up. The Catholic Bible. It was the Catholic version of the King James Bible, I guess, with all the these and the thous and the dusts and the hasts, and which is probably one of the reasons why Catholics didn't read the Bible. One of the reasons, anyway. So I went to it this morning to check on this reading, because as I recall, it said in that translation of the Greek, and all translations are defective, don't forget, none of them are absolutely accurate, but the way the Douay-Rheims translated it was, her many sins are forgiven her because she has loved much. Which isn't what the Greek says. The best translation, I guess, would be, her many sins are forgiven her, hence she has loved much. In response to God's mercy, she loves. And so I came to the American Bible reading, the one we have imposed on us in our liturgy, and it seems to be going backwards. Ooh. Her many sins have been forgiven because she has shown great love. It sounds like her forgiveness is a reward of her love, and it's not what the Greek original says. And the Greek original is the best we have. All Catholics should learn Greek, and the scripture should be proclaimed in Greek every Sunday, and we wouldn't have these problems. So anyway, that's my dilemma, because when I read the scriptures early this morning, I was reading another translation which said it beautifully and perfectly and accurately. In other words, what I'm saying is that I'm just agreeing with Paul in the second reading. God's mercy comes to us not as a result of any activity on our part, but because of God's overwhelming love for us. The works of the law in Jewish parlance, or the gaining of indulgences, or the saying of many prayers, or the doing of good deeds, or the loving of our neighbor, is not what causes God's mercy to descend upon us. It is his love for us that causes mercy to descend. Think of the Lucan parable of the Good Samaritan. Remember, the boy gets all ready when he realizes he's messed up his life. He gets ready a good act of contrition to say to his father, and he never that's the words out of the first words he said, "Father, I have sinned," and the father embraces him and throws a party. And the father, of course, is the image of God. So that's what we have to get in mind when we hear this story of the woman of the streets. I think it's a wonderful thing, even though most Catholics don't do it, that the Church has changed the name of the sacrament in which we experience God's mercy. When we go to confession, emphasis on what we do, I confess, or what's the other one they call? Oh, the sacrament of penance. That's what we do. We do the penance, therefore we're forgiven, right? No, wrong. We call it the sacrament of reconciliation because God reconciles us, in the words of Paul, reconciles us to himself through Christ. The activity is all on God's part. All we have to do is to present ourselves, and we're always sinful, so we always have something to present. Finally, Jesus says to the woman, "Go in peace." Now, where the heck is she going to go? You know, that first translation, the old one, really sounded like Jesus was saying, you know, her sins are forgiven because she has loved much. Well, everybody agrees she was probably a woman of the streets. So what is he saying? You did a good job in your profession, therefore I'm going to... No. But where is she going to go if that was her way of life? She can't go back to her friends in the street because she won't be accepted. She has had an experience of mercy in which she has had what the Catechism calls a purpose of amendment. Some of you are old enough to remember that phrase, necessary for God's mercy. We have to intend to be better, even though we don't succeed. We have to intend. Well, she can't do that. Where's she going to go? She's going to go. Well, I think the only place she can go is to the church, to those other people who have already been forgiven, those other sinners who have already experienced God's mercy. Now, that can be a problem. Suppose you have a person, one of my first parishes was 3,000 families. I don't think too many members knew anything about any of the other members, given the numbers. So where can she go for this acceptance? I think it's up to individual Christians who are members of the community to accept people whose lives have not been, according to our standards, perfect. We have to accept them because God accepts them. We have to forgive them because God forgives them. We are the community of sinners who have experienced the mercy of God, and we welcome everybody and anybody, and the more the merrier, who have already experienced the mercy of Jesus. And we are the welcoming community because we are like the woman. We've been there, we've done that.